Good morning, Tom. How are you?
Kap J Hood, I'm doing well. How you guys doing? Good
Doing
to talk to you.
awesome, man. Awesome. Way better than our favorite football team. Your thoughts on the departure, the firing of Shane Waldron, and the elevation of Thomas Brown?
Well, it seems that the offense has been pretty stagnant in the last couple of weeks. And I think when you listen to all your guys' radio shows and stuff, I don't know if they're in agreement exactly how the game plan has been going and what it's doing to best suit a guy like Caleb Williams. So now you get rid of Shane Waldron, you bring in Thomas Brown, and I think you have a change of vision. You have a change of understanding how you're going to call a game according to the assets that you have on offense that best suits Caleb Williams. That is still my focus, is making sure that you continue the process of making sure that he's the best player he can possibly ultimately be. So if that means you're going to incorporate Cole Kmet more in the passing game and you're going to throw the ball to DeAndre Swift, the players have some culpability in this as well. So this is not only we got rid of Shane Waldron, now this thing's going to look and be completely different. The players have to make sure that they bring a better brand of football onto the field according to how Thomas Brown sees it.
So what could Coach Brown do with Caleb Williams that Waldron did not to get the offense started, from the quarterback standpoint?
They have a structure and they have a design of plays that can repeatedly get the ball and make the decision process simpler for Caleb Williams. When you look at all the completions last week to Keenan Allen, who's kind of been out of the lineup for the last couple weeks before that, there was a significant reduction in time with the ball out of his hands for completions. And you can repeat those to not only Keenan, but to DJ and Rome. I think when you have you ignore Cole Kmet in the first half, aside from one emergency pass to the left side, the sideline of the New England Patriots, then you throw three passes to him consecutively in the second half. He's a type of guy that has to be incorporated in the passing game as much as any receiver the Bears have, because he's an immediate target that's 4 to 7 yards off the line of scrimmage, that you're not asking the offensive line unrealistically to hold their protection for 3.5 to nearly 4 seconds. And then when you talk about what you can do to help Caleb, is you got to encourage the running backs to commit to the point of attack. If you look at the very first play of the game and you go back and you look at it on tape, the point of attack was there. It was a play and a hole developed that the running back could have gone for double-digit amount of yardages. But because of Caleb Williams and a young quarterback, you're facing a lot of 7- and 8-man lines of scrimmage. Now, if you think that you can freelance back to the backside, then you're going to be facing an unblocked tackler, and that's what happened, and then it was a tackle for no gain. And then the second play of the game, it was a play-action pass. DeAndre Swift was open immediately, that you could have got him the ball and he would have had a gain for 7 to 10 yards. But instead, you pass him up and you take a sack. Now it's third down, and you throw the ball to Roma Dunze. The ball goes through his hands, but it still would have been short of the first down of 2 yards. So this is a part of the way Thomas Brown envisions calling a game against the Packers, but it's also about the players giving the Bears a better brand of football.
So, Tom, here's away from the X's and O's, and I know that's all very important stuff. I watch the All-22. It is. But you have said to me, Waddle has said to me, Olin has said to me that they like playing for coaches that might be a blank hole at times, might not be safe for work to hear their language at times, but guess what? You knew exactly where you stood, and there was a level of accountability for every single thing you did. Yet, we hear yesterday Keenan Allen say, look, I've been seeing this stuff since OTAs, minicamp, training camp, that Shane Waldron's too nice a guy, not holding people accountable. He said, we're talking about professionalism, letting things slide. How the hell does that happen on an NFL coaching staff?
Sometimes you have these coaches that are in the midst of climbing a ladder that they never want to offend anybody in case they are up for a head coaching opportunity or their next job. To me, I always wanted to earn the respect of my offensive line coach. I didn't worry about the offensive coordinator. But because of Dick Stanfield was a Hall of Famer as a player and a coach, if I earned his respect, then I was doing exactly what I needed to do. So whether it's Keenan talking about the receivers coach or the offensive coordinator or whatever position you play, you should first earn the respect of your position coach, and then that carries as much weight into the coach's meeting room as anybody else you can possibly satisfy.
Bears and Packers, our coverage starts at 7 a.m. right here on the home of the Bears, ESPN 1000, as we talk to Tom Thayer on Kap J Hood. Tom, what advantages do the Bears have against the Packers in this game on Sunday?
When you have a Jordan Love and he's throwing 10 interceptions along with 15 touchdowns, I think if you can bring in a real supportive crowd when the Packers offense is on the field, I do think that you can create an instant of dysfunction because of the hesitancy at the line of scrimmage, and maybe you can play into a pass rushing opportunity ability or just try to make their offense a little passing dysfunctional. I do think that even though they have a solid running game, if you can put Jordan Love in the player on offense that needs to be the best player and take Jacobs out of the mix a little bit, I think you can help yourself as well. They do have a good running game, but I was a big fan of Aaron Jones, and I thought that he complemented this offense as well as any running back that's been around there for a while. Jacobs is a really good, steady, sturdy running back, but it's about what you can do to Jordan Love to interrupt the offense.
What's your letter grade for the offensive line through this 3-game losing streak?
A C minus at the best.
Boy, it hasn't gotten over a C for you all season. It says a lot for what's been going on lately.
Well, the thing about it is the offensive line is caught up in the midst of a young quarterback who maybe have a tendency to hold on to the ball a little bit longer than you'd like. But then that's plagued by the plays that are being called by the offensive coordinator at the time, Shane Waldron, that has unexpected reality of the end result. You're not going to throw consistent 12 and 18-yard outs with this quarterback and this offensive line. That's when you think of where the offense was in that home game stretch where they won the games, including London. And we saw the running game being incorporated more effectively, Cole Kmet being incorporated more effectively, and then the offense running more smoothly. I think when you take those two elements out of it and then you just count on Caleb to find the wide receivers, then you're making yourself almost dysfunctional. When you go back and you look at the running game in the next 3 weeks, the Bears have been running outside zones really well. If you encourage the running back to commit to the point of attack and take what's offered you, and even DeAndre Swift this week at the podium, he said, I'll be whatever you want me to be. If you want me to lower my shoulder pads for 3 yards, then I'm willing to do that. Okay? Then we're gonna encourage you to do that, because if you're getting 3 yards and you deliver the impact, then you're going to make that a 4-yard carry. And that's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for unrealistic results. I'm looking for 30 carries for 4.0 yards per carry. And that leads the time of possession, and that gets you into scoring opportunities. And I think there's only a little over a minute time of possession that separates Green Bay from the Bears. And so you're going to have to use every minute you have efficiently.
Cap, they're doing it against us. Why can't we do it against the competition?
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
I mean, how come we can't run the football that effectively?
Let's try and smash people in the mouth, but we're not built maybe that way. I got to ask you about the Xavier McKinney comments. Did you hear about this?
I have not.
Okay, so Xavier McKinney was on with Kay Adams on her Up and Adams show.
Correct.
And she asked Xavier about DJ Moore walking off the field mid-play against the Arizona Cardinals. And he said, you're supposed to be the guy and you're just walking off the field. You're walking off the field on a rookie quarterback that you've been praising. So it's like that's a whole other story. He then said Moore's reason that he rolled his ankle on the play is a lie. And he said it's absolute BS. When you hear all this, it's obviously going to be a interesting battle between the two of them this weekend. But where are you on DJ? Because I like DJ as a player, but for some reason, he looks completely disconnected.
Xavier McKinney will never cover DJ Moore. He's a safety that's going to be the interior, and maybe he'll be there for a support tackle. So he's you can shoot your mouth off until you got to pay your dues come Sunday, and then we'll see what happens. Listen, man, I got nothing but respect for DJ Moore. And I think talking about that play where he limped off the field and he said he sprayed his ankle, I believe him. Because DJ Moore has shown us that he's taken some really vicious hits on the field and maybe goes off the field for a play that comes right back on. I will never question his toughness. So Xavier McKinney, you're a member of the Green Bay Packers and you're talking trash on a podcast you never thought that would be heard in Chicago. And, it'd be like me going back and while Brett Favre laid down for Michael Strahan so he could get the sack total when Brett Favre was in Green Bay. It's kind of the same thing where I don't like the Packers and I'm sure McKinney doesn't like the Bears. So, I guess you have that right to talk, a little smack on somebody else's podcast.
Let's get it on then.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's get it on, man. That's right.
Well, Tom, because in your history, you and your teams kicked the Packers' ass on a regular basis. So can you pick out that one of those games that stood out to you most, Bears-Packers, that you were involved in?
Probably the ones where Fridge was a lead blocker in goal line, and I think it was George Cumbie, the linebacker, tried to take him on, and it was just a devastating isolation hit because that's when you used to have this, we used to call plays like 24 ISO, 45 ISO, and that means the fullback was isolated on a second-level linebacker, and the running back followed right behind him. And so when you have the luxury of having an explosive guy like William Perry at that time and thinking a 225-pound linebacker is going to take him on, good luck. And you saw the end result of it, and you still see that highlight being played repeatedly before the Bears-Packers games.
Oh, Cap, you had to love the Ditka Greg years. Oh, just
vicious.
Just kicking their ass every single time.
Were you there when they argued in a preseason game because they were both teams on the same sideline at County Stadium?
I was not there. That was the year before I got there. And that's one of the stadiums I wish I would have had an opportunity to play in my career because I think I was only on the same sideline maybe one time in my career in the USFL. Other than that, we are always on opposite sidelines. So, yeah, there's a lot of bad blood that they're trying to separate with the velvet rope like in a VIP when some of the clubs you used to go as a young guy.
Oh, crazy, man.
So great.
They almost fought. They almost came to blows.
Yeah. But I mean, just the intensity of that rivalry, Tom, just tell us about that because it's one thing to enjoy from a Bears standpoint the wins, as I saw as a kid. But what was it like, though, just to know that it was the Packers? Why was that more important than anything else to you?
Because Ditka was an ex-Bear, and that's how I had the rivalry explained to me in the meetings leading up to that game. He didn't like Forrest Gregg. He didn't like the Packers. I remember one time we were playing there on a Thursday night, I think it was, and Ditka goes, okay, guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to bus up there, we're going to kick their ass, and we're going to fly home. So it's going to kind of be a new way that to get ready. So it was like the old high school game where you actually drove a couple hours to play your opponent, and you got out there knowing that it was going to be an ass kicking, and let's get it done, and then let's come home.
Tom, have a great call with Jeff and with Jason, and please beat their ass because it's the Packers.
Let's go.
All right.